From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Chris Carl.
Among Delaware's top stories for Wednesday, March 5th, a state trooper is charged in connection with the armed holdup of a poker game. Sherry Freeberry wants her legal fees reimbursed. And an Odessa house has a place in history. Here are the details. State police have arrested one of their own in an armed robbery last month at a downstate country club. At first, police thought Win Jin Kim of Dover was a victim when three armed men burst into a poker game at the Wild Quail Country Club in Wyoming February 22nd. The poker players were tied up, their faces covered, as robbers took cash, cell phones, and credit cards. But police spotted Kim on Walmart surveillance tape, where some items left at the crime scene were bought. A search of Kim's home turned up more evidence.
Broke my heart to think that one of my troopers would do this. But we're here to serve the public and do what we have to do in order to bring anyone to justice that violates our laws. Mr. Kim is not indicative of the caliber of the troopers we have serving the citizens of this state. Standing behind me are the men and the women that serve this division that are indicative of that caliber. These troopers began an investigation with victims of a robbery. They chased down every piece of evidence that they could, and when the focus of the investigation became one of our own, they left no stone unturned in the pursuit of that investigation and bringing these people to justice. The men and women of this division serve the citizens of this state each and every day admirably. They save lives. Mr. Kim is an aberration to the men and women of this division.
Kim was a trooper for 2.5 years. He's been suspended and is facing multiple charges, including 11 robbery counts. The search continues for other suspects. Former Newcastle County Administrative Officer Sherry Freeberry wants you to pay her legal fees. She has asked the county to pay her back $3.7 million in fees she racked up fighting corruption charges. Freeberry was indicted on federal racketeering and corruption charges, but those were later dropped. An outside attorney will review Freeberry's application and make a non-binding recommendation within 120 days. If the council agrees to pay the tab, the money would come from the taxpayer-funded cash reserve. A woman's in critical condition after being hit by a pickup truck yesterday morning in Wilmington. Police say the 64-year-old woman from Maryland was walking in the crosswalk at 10th and Orange Streets at about 9:35 a.m. when she was hit by the truck. She was trapped underneath the truck until rescue crews freed her. She's being treated for head and rib cage injuries. So far, no charges have been filed against the driver. Police cuff an accused drug dealer, but not without a fight. WDEL News continues in a moment.
As you look for your college experience, make sure you look at Wilmington College, your key to success.
Wilmington police say an officer tackled a man who hit her and tried to flee after a traffic stop that turned up 390 bags of heroin. It happened Monday night at 23rd and Bowers Street. Police say the driver, Norman Miller, hit one of the officers in the face and ran. An officer tackled Miller and struggled with him before he was taken into custody. Police found heroin packets valued at more than $5,000 in Miller's pants pockets and about $1,700 in cash in the car. Miller faces drug charges as well as resisting arrests with force or violence. Though Delaware has no national park, the National Park Service has recognized another local landmark. WDEL's Carl Konevsky reports.
Deborah Buxton, executive director of the Historic Odessa Foundation, says the honor goes to the Corbett Sharp House, a National Historic Landmark on Main Street in Odessa, just off the banks of the Appoquinimink River.
The house was originally built in 1774 by William Corbett, who was a Quaker tanner by trade, and it just recently has been named to the National Park Service Network to Freedom for the role that William Corbett's son Daniel played in the abolitionist movement.
Buxton says in 1914, Mary Corbett Warner told a story about how her mother helped a slave who came to their door searching for a path to freedom.
Her mother, Mary, brought him into the house and took him to the third floor, where she hid him in a cupboard in the eaves of the third floor attic rooms. And the sheriff came and rapped on the door, requested to search the premises, and Mrs. Corbett gladly escorted him through the house. When they got to the third floor, the sheriff noticed the cupboard, but said, "Oh no, that's too small a space for the person that I'm looking for. He would be too big to fit into that space."
The house is one of 9 Delaware sites on the network to freedom. Reporting from Odessa, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
Playoff race gets tighter for the Flyers. WDEL Sports and your Delaware AccuWeather forecast coming up.
When it comes to flooring, great style doesn't have to be expensive, especially when you shop at Carpet One Floor & Home. Our 1,000-store buying power gives you the best prices on hardwood, carpet, tile, laminate, and more, including brands you'll find exclusively at Carpet One Floor & Home, like Liz Claiborne Home, Good Housekeeping with Resista, and Lee's, all with guaranteed installation and no payments for 1 year. See how easy it is to find your perfect style. Shop in store, online, or in-home, only at Carpet One Floor & Home.
I'm Peter MacArthur.
I'm Melanie Armstrong, and here are Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour.
The most complete coverage of the news that matters in Delaware. Every weekday morning, 5:30 till 9 on 1150 AM WDEL.
WDEL Sports, the Buffalo Sabres scored a pair of goals 18 seconds apart early in the third period as they downed the Flyers last night. Scotty Upshaw and Steve Downey scored for the Flyers, who now lead the Sabres by just 1 point for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. And the last 4 remaining girls basketball teams meet tonight at the Bob Carpenter Center in the semifinals of the high school basketball tournament. In Game 1, 2nd seed Ursuline takes on 6th seed Sanford at 6:30. The Raiders cruised to an easy win over Brandywine in the quarterfinals, while Sanford needed overtime to dispatch St. Mark's. Game 2 tonight, top seed and defending state champ St. Elizabeth takes on 4th seed Hodson. The Lady Vikings routed Archmere in the quarterfinals, while Hodson whipped Middletown. You can hear both games on WDEL. Coverage tonight starts at 6:15. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast: a flood watch is still in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Otherwise today, clouds and sun and windy, temperature staying in the 50s. Tonight, partly cloudy, low down to 33. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, with a high 54. Get news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 1150 AM. And get WDEL News text alerts sent to your cell phone. Sign up here at WDEL.com. I'm Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.